Hi everyone. In this video, we'll be discussing about thermal conductivity. See, thermal conductivity is the property of the material. It is a property of the material and it depends on majorly four parameters. Thermal conductivity is denoted by K, and this thermal conductivity depends on the first one, the material structure. So depending upon the material structure, thermal conductivity varies. Second one, it depends on the moisture content. It depends on moisture content. It depends on the density of the material. Also, it depends on pressure and temperature. See, thermal conductivity plays a predominant role in heat transfer by conduction. So the formula for heat transferred by conduction Q will be equal to minus K into area multiplied by the temperature gradient, which is dt by dx. See, suppose let us consider there is a plain wall like this. Plain wall like this. One side of the wall is at temperature T1, the other side is at temperature T2. So T1 is greater than T2. And the thickness of the wall, let us assume it to be dx or thickness L. You can take. When T1 is greater than T2, heat transfer takes place from this side of the surface to the other side. So, according to Fourier's law of heat conduction, heat transfer is directly proportional to area perpendicular to the heat flow direction multiplied by temperature gradient dt by dx. Temperature gradient means change in temperature with respect to the distance. See, in order to remove this proportionality, we introduce a constant called the thermal conductivity of the material, where this thermal conductivity is the material property. So, and it depends on the material structure, moisture content, density, as well as pressure and temperature. So, we can write Q is equal to Ka into dt by dx. See, dt is the temperature difference, which will be T2 minus T1. Here, as T2 is less than T1, then this dt value will be minus, negative. So in order to make this heat transfer rate positive, we will introduce minus sign in front of this one. So therefore, Q is equal to minus Ka into dt by dx. See, if the thermal conductivity increases, the heat transfer rate increases. So heat transfer is directly proportional to the thermal conductivity of the material. Okay. See, there will be metals and alloys also. See, if you take pure metals, their thermal conductivity will be more compared to that of alloys when we take at the same temperature. Remember this, when we consider at the same temperature, the thermal conductivity of the pure metals will be more than that of their alloys, because adding impurities will reduce the thermal conductivity. Okay, and thermal conductivity in case of solids will be more than that of liquids and more than that of gases when we consider at the same pressure and temperatures. Okay, then usually I am talking about normal temperature and pressure conditions, NTP conditions. Thermal conductivity of solids is greater than liquids, greater than gases. Again, solids we can write as metals and non-metals. So thermal conductivity of metals is more than that of non-metals. Thermal conductivity of metals is more than that of non-metals. And again, metals can be classified as non-ferrous metals and ferrous materials. Remember one thing, whichever are the good conductors of electricity, they are good conductors of heat. So you can say that copper, aluminium, all these materials which are non-ferrous or noble materials will have more thermal conductivity compared to that of the ferrous materials. Whereas diamond and graphite, these two materials will have very high thermal conductivity. So diamond and graphite will have higher thermal conductivity. See, thermal conductivity of material is due to the flow of free electrons in case of metals and lattice vibrational waves in case of fluids. Okay, so thermal conductivity will decrease with the increase in impurities. Try to remember this very important point. Thermal conductivity decreases with increase in the impurities. And you know, when some materials are heated, that means if they are undergoing heat treatment process or mechanically processed or mechanically formed, then the thermal conductivity of the material varies considerably. So try to remember this point very carefully. See, thermal conductivity of most materials, thermal conductivity of most metals, if you say, thermal conductivity of most metals decrease with increase in temperature. Here there are two exemptions, that is aluminium and uranium. So these two are exceptions. If you take liquids, thermal conductivity of liquids decreases with increase in temperature. With increase in temperature, here water being an exception. So water is a pure substance, so it has certain exceptions. See, when the temperature increases, density decreases. So therefore, the thermal conductivity of the liquids will decrease with increase in temperature. Whereas thermal conductivity of gases increase with increase in temperature. And see, the gases with higher molecular weights have smaller thermal conductivities. So try to remember these. So gases with higher molecular weights will have smaller thermal conductivities. This is majorly because the mean molecular path of gas molecules decreases with increase in density, and thermal conductivity is directly proportional to the mean free path of the molecules. And thermal conductivity of material is dependent on temperature and it can be related by using this relation. K is equal to K naught into 1 plus beta T. See, usually people will think that this K naught is the thermal conductivity at 0 Kelvin. It is not correct, because at 0 Kelvin there will be no molecular movement. So here you need to take thermal conductivity at 0 degrees centigrade, and beta here, this is the temperature coefficient of thermal conductivity. Temperature coefficient of thermal conductivity, and its unit is taken as 1 by degree centigrade. So 1 by degree centigrade is the unit that we consider for this beta. See, it is usually positive. Beta will be usually positive for non-metals and insulating materials. Only magnesite bricks are the exemption. Whereas beta is negative for metallic conductors. So here aluminum and certain non-ferrous alloys are exceptions. See, thermal conductivity of solids and liquids does not majorly depend on the pressure, whereas thermal conductivity of gases will be predominantly dependent on the pressure. Okay. So in case of non-metallic solids, if you take thermal conductivity of porous materials, so thermal conductivity of porous materials, so these are dependent on the liquid or gas present in the voids. So thermal conductivity of porous materials will be dependent on the liquid or gas that is present in the voids. Try to remember that. And thermal conductivity of damp material, if you take damp material, this is considerably higher than the thermal conductivity of dry material and water when taken individually. So when you take thermal conductivity of dry material and compare with damp material will have more thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity of water, if you compare with damp material, thermal conductivity of damp material will be higher. So thermal conductivity increases with the increase in density. So try to remember that. And the ratio of thermal and electrical conductivities, the ratio of thermal and electrical conductivities is the same for all metals at same temperature, and that the ratio is directly proportional to the absolute temperature of the material. So K by sigma, if you take sigma, you are considering it as electrical conductivity. K is the thermal conductivity. This ratio is the same for all metals at the same temperature. So you can write K by rho is directly proportional to the temperature. absolute temperature of the material. Here the temperature should be considered in kelvins. Absolute temperature, when we talk, it should be in terms of kelvins. So here we can write K by sigma into T is equal to a constant C. This constant is referred as Lorentz number, which is equal to 2.45 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 watt ohm per Kelvin square. So this is the unit that we need to consider. So this law conveys that the materials which are good conductors of electricity are also good conductors of heat. Okay, so try to remember, whichever are the good conductors of electricity, they are good conductors of heat. I hope you understood about this thermal conductivity concept. Try to remember these points. So this will be very much helpful to you. Okay, thank you. All the best.